Folks, look at our neighborhoods. Look at what's going on. See, I'm able to view both sides of the spectrum. I've traveled and I look around and I see what's going on in our communities. Sickness, destitute, destroyed. And then you go and you watch in other neighborhoods. People are jogging in the gym, getting themselves healthy. They're shooting at the range when you look at what's going on. Anyone with common sense can see that there's a war preparing. It's going to be the strong and the militarily prepared against the weak. It's being done right before our eyes. And the preachers and pastors aren't telling anyone anything. They're going to be destroyed in this war too. It's here. I'm looking at it. These people, I'm seeing, I don't care how old they are. People are jogging. I'm talking about other nations. They are jogging all up and down the street. They're at the ranges shooting. And our people are just existing. No preparation. Obesity and just not preparing. No working out. No nothing. No reading. No preparing for the storm to come. It's going to come a time, folks, where there'll be no food and water coming into these cities, and especially in these ghettos. It's coming. And the preachers, the pastors, are going to die with the people. That's what happened in 70 AD. Come on.
Thus there was a star resembling a sword which stood over the city, and a comet that continued a whole year. Thus also before the Jews' rebellion, and before those commotions which preceded the war.
The Most High had a sign in the stars, where a sword appeared. The stars formed a sword over Jerusalem. This is what Josephus said. The Most High warned our people that the Romans were preparing to kill us. Read.
Thus there was a star resembling a sword which stood over the city, and a comet that continued a whole year. Thus also before the Jews' rebellion, and before those commotions which preceded the war, when the people were come in great crowds to the feast of unleavened bread, on the 8th day of the month Xanthicus, and at the 9th hour of the night. So great a light shone round the altar of the holy house, that it appeared to be bright daytime, which light lasted for half an hour. This light seemed to be a good sign to the unskillful, but was so interpreted by the sacred scribes as to portend those events that followed immediately upon it. At the same festival also a heifer, as she was led by the high priest to be sacrificed, brought forth a lamb in the midst of the temple. Moreover, the eastern gate of the inner court of the temple, which was of brass and vastly heavy, and had been difficultly shut by 20 men, and rested upon a basis armed with iron, had bolts fastened very deep into the firm floor, which was there made of one entire stone, was seen to be opened of its own accord about the 6th hour of the night.
The Most High was showing all types of signs. Yet our people ignored them. It's easy to get distracted also. I'm going to tell you, especially with having the phones and the internet and everything, the TV. It's easy to be distracted. But while this distraction is happening, walls are being built. The foreign military is already on soil. They've been on American soil since about 2005, 2006. Have y'all noticed this? Have y'all noticed this year in your particular cities that China's New Year have been celebrated? And they're showing it throughout the whole United States as if China has a stake with the military within the United States, and it does. The same time, folks, that the nations are preparing to destroy us in the Western world, especially in America, we have shysters and con men eating the meat off of the bones of the most vulnerable people in our communities with no protection. It's a feast day for con men. Same thing happened during the time of Masada. The destitute were being taken advantage of on every level. Read on.
Now those that kept watch in the temple came hereupon running to the captain of the temple, and told it of him, who then came up thither, and not without great difficulty was able to shut the gate again.
Come on.
This also appeared to the vulgar to be a very happy prodigy, as if God thereby opened them the gate of happiness. But the men of learning understood it, that the security of their holy house was dissolved of its own accord.
It was wide open for destruction. The Most High gave the leaders the signs according to the word, and our leaders ignored the signs. And I'm going to tell you this, folks. When the Romans came, they didn't just kill the people, destroy the people. They destroyed the leaders. They destroyed the same leaders that were utilized by the government to deceive the people. Why? Because you have influence. They're not going to let anyone with influence stay alive. They'll just re-educate the children. But those of influence must go.